You like that beatbox intro right there? That's going to cost you guys. That's going to be out in the mixtape coming 2021. All right. I like today's topic. It's going to be so much fun. So, today we are going to be talking about the phrase happy wife, happy life, and how some people view relationships as kind of a one-sided situation, where just your goal in the relationship is to make this other person as happy as possible, and you're gonna be okay with that. I think that we got some opinions on that whole thing. I think that we got some different viewpoints than some other people might have. But what do you think about the phrase happy wife, happy life, wife?
I mean, I'm pretty cool with it.
You ain't gonna sell your people out.
I gotta sell myself out.
Oh, Uncle Tom.
I'm out for myself.
Trying to get my rocks off. I'm gonna say what I want. Say what I want to.
No, I mean, we talk about it all the time, and because we see it posted on Facebook all the time. Happy wife, happy life. And we're always like, why? Because just because I'm happy doesn't mean he's not miserable. And his happiness means just as much as my happiness or the kids' happiness or everybody else's happiness.
It's one of the weirdest things, I think, about just attraction and dating and a lot of stuff in regards to that is where I think a lot of people have the idea that in order to get a partner or keep a partner, that means bending over backwards or like no longer being yourself anymore, because now you're not important. Like, you got to take care of them, and like everything else is just about what they want. And because of that, now you got to... That, to me, is one of the most poisonous, I don't even know, like, belief systems, I guess, that's kind of gotten memeified or kind of, like, gotten blown up in, like, popular culture. And the other part is, too, is that I think it's very unattractive to women, too, to be honest with you. I think that it's so weird to me how, like, there's been, like, this idea propagated that in order to, like, get a partner or to have a successful relationship, like, the dude has to be, like, this browbeaten, like, downtrodden sort of, oh, well, you know what they say, when I go back home, we know who wears the pants. That's not attractive at all, man. Like, that, no, I don't know any woman that's gonna sit there and look like when they're looking for a partner, right? To be
maybe like right off the bat you might find that attractive.
Temporarily, maybe.
But then you're gonna find that attractive to hold you down while you're out cheating on them.
Exactly. Like, while you're out getting your rocks off, he's back at home like, I just cleaned up the bathroom again, honey. Is everything okay? Yeah, my boyfriend's coming over too. So,
or you want your feet rubbed and stuff like that. Like,
my boyfriend wants his feet rubbed too. Thanks, Hobie. That kind of situation.
Like, when things get to be too boring, like, what's the challenge in anything? Like,
100% agree with you.
Once you master something, then, I mean...
I gotta find the next thing,
I gotta find something else to do. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was as cool as Slash, I'm not gonna... I mean, he's great at a lot of things. People probably don't know he's really into... I think it's skateboarding or biking.
Oh, okay.
He's really good at one of them. I can't remember. But he does it well. And... then when he finishes that, he's probably got a whole bunch of other talents that he does and stuff.
100%.
I'm not sure why I thought that would tie in 100%, but like if you're just giving me what I want all the time, I'm gonna stop asking. First of all, I'm just gonna start telling, and I'm gonna start doing.
It becomes demand.
And I'm just gonna be like, this is what I'm doing. And if he had any say or any problems with it, I'm like, well, it sucks to suck, but I'm gonna go do this because you've been letting me do whatever I want all the time. Why is this different? You
set the standard. Exactly. Like, if you came in from the beginning with the philosophy that, like, I'm gonna let this person do whatever they want, and then, like, all of a sudden you're like, you know what, this isn't really okay, I'm getting kind of sick of what you're doing right now. You've set the parameters for what's allowed, you know? Like,
well, we teach people how to treat us. And what we allow will continue. So if I'm constantly letting you just like walk all over me, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm secretly like crying myself to sleep in my bed or in the shower, or like I'm scheming like rubbing his toothbrush in the toilet or something, but in public and in person I
love you, baby.
Yeah. Which goes again to the Facebook not real type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm doing that, then I'm not happy. He's thinking he's living a lie because he thinks that things are cool, and then like all of a sudden it's just like your whole world implodes because finally it's gonna explode at some point. And then he's gonna be like, what happened? We've been together 20 years.
Everything was going great.
I was happy. I didn't know she wasn't happy.
Everything was perfect. And I don't want to make this some weird misogynistic type thing where like this is only what women do to men. Like that's not how it works.
Oh no, I see it a lot in guys too.
This definitely is something that goes both directions, man, where we talk a lot on this podcast about just how self-confidence, right, and like insecurity and how you view yourself. And I think that's exactly where this comes in, right, where if you have such a low opinion of yourself, or you have like the belief that this person that you're with is fundamentally like better than you or worth more than you are, and you go into the relationship with that mindset, it breeds failure from the beginning to me, you know?
If you're like I'm marrying up, and then like you're always trying to catch up in other ways to make up for that point value that you're lacking, then you're always going to be doing more, and eventually that's probably going to turn to some kind of resentment.
You sabotage it, right? And that's exactly it. Like, it can become one of those situations like you talked about where, like, the partner, if they're of a certain temperament, they become very controlling, possessive, just dictatorial. I guess dictatorial.
I was gonna say dick.
They become very dick. And if that doesn't happen, then in the person who's feeling this way, like they're constantly having to kowtow and do whatever this person wants, eventually they're going to get to the point where they're going to be upset and feeling like, why am I the one that's always doing everything and blah, blah, blah. And it goes right back to what you said too about maybe that other person won't even know like what the heck you're mad about or why you're upset, because like this is what we've always done. Like this is how it always been.
Like if I'm constantly telling you what to do, and then, like, 5 years down the road, you're like, I'm tired of you controlling. I just thought you were too stupid to make your own decisions.
like we've been doing this from the start. Like, I thought this is how you wanted it.
My respect for you probably has gone way down because I thought you couldn't do anything without me.
Yes,
I feel like you're probably another one of my kids at that point. And I've been in those relationships, and then they're like, you treat me like a kid.
Sure do.
You act like one.
Like I buy all your clothes. I make your food every night. I have to tell you how not to go behind on your bills and build credit. Like I have to, like that's the thing, man. Like people sometimes enter relationships like looking for a second mom, or like they have this person that like, my wife's supposed to take care of me. Hell no. Like your wife isn't here to serve you and to make sure that your life is put together. Like if that's what you're getting with another person for, I don't recommend you entering into a long-term relationship. But
did you know that if like I die, or if one of us was to die, the surviving one, you're more likely to get married quickly than I am? Because, I mean, if I'm dead, I'm not getting remarried. But, like, if I was to die, statistically, the man is more likely to get remarried quickly because they're used to getting taken care of. And then they're like, what do I do? Like
I can't even wash my own clothes, like that type of thing.
Like, who's going to make my supper? Who's going to wash my clothes? Who's going to make my doctor appointments? Like, and that's stereotyping it, but historically, that's what statistics show.
That's 100% true, man. And, like, that's just mind-boggling for me to think that somebody is just that level of incapability, I guess, or just, like, dependence on somebody else. I think that's just such the wrong mindset to enter into a relationship with.
Well, I think that, in general, you struggle with the dependability in depending on anybody.
Yeah.
So you've got kind of like a little bit of a
maybe
skewed
bias.
mark about this.
I'm sure.
I remember like when we
sure.
first started dating, you were always like, I don't want to depend on anybody. And it's like you've got to like it's not depending.
You're gonna
or
need
anything.
support
like,
though.
Yeah, we're supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not expecting you to depend on me. You're working. Like, but it's totally different when in this situation and what we're talking about too. And now he's kind of like, I know he does depend on me, but it's not in like I can't live without you type situation. Like if I fuck up, he's gonna leave, and I would expect that. Like he laid that out on the line right away, but at the same time, like if I died, he was gonna be pretty devastated.
Yeah, right.
And so like it's not saying
there's no emotional connection. Yeah. Absolutely, man. There 100% is, and I think there has to be in order to have a healthy relationship, right? Like if I was just this completely cold, callous, like didn't care what happened to you type of person, then we're not really in a marriage. You know, we're not in a relationship because I'm not invested.
It's more of a business agreement.
Exactly. Like there's got to be some emotional investment, and I think that that's something that you can't. We talked about not taking it for granted, right? Where like that's something that when you're in a relationship, both people give that willingly, you know, and like that's not something
a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. Like that's not something to be like looked down upon, right? Like if somebody is willingly giving you their time, energy, all these parts of themselves, then you don't just look at that and say like you know, like you don't take it for granted. Like that person doesn't have to do that type of thing. And I think that there's a major difference between that perspective versus the person that like can't blow their nose unless their husband or wife is around, and I think it supremely affects the relationship in a big way. Well, you know,
we've both had clients where they can't do anything without their significant other there.
Like they bring them to sessions.
And then it's like we can't talk. Because if you try to talk to me about something that's going on with your significant other, then they're going to blow up and it's going to create, your life's going to be hell after you leave my office.
100%.
But then, like, I've also had people bring their significant other in because they don't feel comfortable, like a man meeting with a female. And I'm like, I'm not here to have sex with you.
Right, like, coming to your office is a brothel. Right.
I see men all day long in my office. I didn't even think about that kind of situation happening. Like, there's windows and one whole side of my wall, and I work in a correctional type setting, and there is required due to the PREA for there to be a window in my door. Like, and I'm not, if I decorated my door, that window has to stay open. So, makes breastfeeding stuff really great in my office with all these windows, by the way. Yeah. But it's just like that level, and then they couldn't even keep it up, like, because they couldn't meet with me because all this stuff. Shut up. It was just like, it was ridiculous, and it put me in a bad position because you're putting that out there, and I feel like they're worried they're going to cheat on their spouse. I'm not sure. I'm not the one.
I'm not, like, right, ain't happening with me. Right.
So I'm not sure exactly. I never met with that person again.
So strange, man. And it goes right back to the insecurity thing that we talked about. But like there's levels to it, right? Where just it comes out in a lot of different forms, but it destroys your relationship so bad, man, when you have like a hierarchy set up, you know, like I think it's bad to enter in any kind of situation where you view somebody as like above or below you, you know, like whether you view your partner as like not as good as you or whether you view them better. I think that they're both terrible problems, you know, and I think they both end up with your relationship in the gutter because that's a flawed lens to be viewing that from the very start, you know.
Well, if I'm holding you up on a pedestal, I'm trying to hold you up there. I don't have time to focus on my own stuff and bring myself up. And if I'm constantly holding you up there, you're looking down on me. And
I feel like I can do whatever I want to you. Like, you're lucky to have me around. So.
Well, then you want to keep me down there because it feels good to be up on that pedestal.
Yeah, you feel powerful, right? Like you feel...
I feel... If I was to be held up on that pedestal, I would feel uncomfortable.
It's strange, isn't it? Well, it feels like you're you're dating or married to a groupie. Like, who, nobody wants you. It's hard to have a relationship that's equal or like one that's healthy when there's such a power differential,
that goes to my personality. I don't want to be better than other people. I don't want that. Other people are going to get off on that feeling and require that
temporarily,
Well, they're going to seek that out, and then once they're up there, you better keep me up here, and if you get sick or you falter in any way, then what are you doing? Like, you're not treating me the same. Like, I don't know what's going on.
And I think that's why those relationships never last, right? Is that when you come into a relationship expecting this person to like either put you on the pedestal or you have this view of the person that you're with not being as good as you, there's automatically just this dynamic of like, you're lucky to be with me. I can do and say whatever I want to. You better be on your P's and Q's if you want to be with somebody like me. And that's not a relationship so much as it is, what would you even call that, man? Like, that's not a relationship. It's
almost like a mistress type situation.
Yeah, that's like some dominatrix / well, and I think those are better because most those people at least know what they're getting into. Like when you have somebody doing like the daddy dom, like all that sort of stuff. Like both parties know what the heck this is, right? But there's a lot of these.
One's probably getting paid,
and the other one's probably happy to give their money. But a lot of these relationships are people entering into it where one thinks that like, oh, like we're going out, like we're doing this dating thing, blah blah blah, and with that, and they're not seeing how their behavior or their actions and them idolizing this person has immediately shot the relationship in the foot from the very start.
Well, I kind of go back to the whole love languages thing. Like, if my love language is giving and doing things for people, and I get with somebody that enjoys receiving gifts and receiving services, and like it matches up perfectly. Except what are you doing back for me? Like, I'm filling up your cup, and my cup's getting full of giving, but my cup isn't getting full from anything else. So when we're constantly doing that, it creates that imbalance. But again, like, if one day you're not doing something, then that other person's like, what happened?
You don't love me anymore?
and like, well, you're like, I didn't feel good, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is what I've come to know, and if you're not going to do it for me, then I'm going to find somebody who can. And then that person, like, now knows their worth.
It's brutal, man. I think that this is a huge... I think this is a big one, man. Like, this irks me to no end just because I know that I've run into so many people with that mindset, like on a personal level, man, in my own life, just a lot of...
Our family members.
Yeah, and some of my closest friends, man, like have this idea that like, I'm just so lucky to be with her and I just can't even...
He has this friend and his wife thinks she's hot and he thinks his wife's hot. And she'll put in the least amount of effort, and he spends like a year coming up with their anniversary present and make sure that he doesn't ever do anything to upset her. Takes 100%, not 100, probably about 85% care of their kids and doing everything he possibly can to make her happy. And her expectation is he's just happy to be with her. Like, that's her contribution, is I let you be with me.
Right. Like, do you see me? Do you realize how lucky you are to be with this? That kind of thing. Ugh. And I'm trying to, like, put my thoughts together about, like, how bad that irks me. Like, leaves a real bad taste in my mouth, like, seeing dudes do that. Like, I can't...
Good guy. Like, by the way, like, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. He could do so much better than being treated like that.
I can't stand seeing that, man, where, like, you're lucky in the sense that if you're in a good relationship, both of you support each other and make each other's life better, but you're not lucky to be, like, bathing in her presence, quote unquote. Like, there's nothing about this other person that's like, you're just lucky to even breathe in the same oxygen. Who are you?
And I feel like it's a carrot that gets dangled in front of people like that's face. Like, if you do this, then I'll say how much I love you.
I'll kiss you on the cheek in public and let people know.
Or, like, I'll do this. Or, like, that little bit of affection, and then the carrot gets yanked away again.
It's like a transaction.
Yeah. Yes. And then, like, it just makes them want to try harder, because when they do get that carrot for a second,
that's so nice.
It meant a lot to them, and it felt good. And then it's gone, and then they're craving that carrot again. It's a toxic situation, because you never get what you need,
and it all stems from insecurity, you know. Mm-hmm. And like that's why I'm such a major advocate of people having their crap together before they get with people, for your own sake, you know. Like, because if you care about this person and you want like this relationship to last, or like whatever you're getting yourself into, you want it to be a good thing, then you can't go into it thinking that you're a piece of garbage, you know. Like, it's not even so much about like this other person and like how they're feeling and all that other crap, but like on a selfish level, you know, where like if you really want this thing to work, or if you want the best for yourself, then you gotta do something about that.
You need to know what you deserve and demand it, but not like come into the relationship
entitled.
And be like, you have to do this, and this.
My rules, blah blah blah. Because there are people that do that too. We're like, look, you trying to. This is like Tinder classic, right? Where you get on like the dating profile.
Never
stuff
been on Tinder.
I used to be there for a time, but this is like the classic like online dating profile thing where you just like, I need a man that got 8-figure salary, that's gonna take care of me and my 7 kids, that's gonna go out. And then on the other hand, you got a guy that's like, I need a girl that's got like 36 D boobs, I need a girl that's got 4 jobs so I ain't gotta work, blah blah blah. And like these complete bums that have like all these demands both on like the female and the male side. And I'm like, I look at these and where do you get off making these?
So he just started scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Like, where do you get off making these types of demands? Like, who are you? You know, like, what do you offer or bring to the table or have going for you that makes you feel quote unquote entitled to like meeting this kind of person? Like, that's not self-worth, or like knowing my value. That's delusional. That's completely and utterly delusional. Like, you're coming in with this checklist of like, if this person doesn't have this, then they're not the right person. Well, good luck, because you ain't finding that person, dude. I'm telling you that right now. That person ain't real. You made that person up.
And sometimes being in it, like, I was that insecure person. Like, my last relationship beat me down and made me feel like I had nothing to offer and I was a piece of crap. And then, I mean, I didn't exactly portray that to you when we started dating. I mean, I told you straight up front what the kind of situation I was in. But when we talked about it, like, if you would have been a douchebag, you could have totally taken advantage and said, sometimes, like, being in a supportive, healthy relationship can be healing as well. Like,
finding the right person, yeah.
Yes, but don't expect that person, like, don't seek out a healthy person.
Yeah, like, a therapist, right?
To like, heal you and be your therapist.
I need you to fix me. Like, that's not what it's about, right? You're right, though, man. If you're in the right situation, it can be therapeutic, but it's something that happens naturally. Like, I don't think that you sought out, like, I'm on the rebound, let me find blah, 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 blah. If you go into it looking for that, then good luck, but...
Because if you think about it, like, if you're not doing well and you seek out that healthy person, you can also turn that healthy person not healthy, too. Like, you can make them just as toxic as you are.
Yeah, it can definitely be like a give and take, right? Like an interplay between the toxicity of it, where you come in a bad place and you're giving off, well, you're just mistreating this person or like starting arguments and fights, and you end up turning a situation that could be healthy with somebody that could be potentially good for you into something bad because you're in a bad place. You know, like you're not there mentally, man. And that's the reality of it, is that you can have something really good right in front of you but be screwing it up because you're not doing well. You know, like that's a very big possibility. Not saying that's every relationship, because sometimes the person you're with just is not okay. You know, sometimes people just aren't good people. They don't want what's best for you. They're too self-centered, like whatever the reason might be. But
they want what's best for you as far as it can get them what's best for them.
Yeah. It's
like,
only a means to an end, right?
Yes.
Where like if they're this satisfied, then that means this is okay for me, like that type of thing. Where there's still like that element of fundamental selfishness in it, right? And I think it's a really huge thing, man, is being able to assess yourself, like when you're in a good or bad place, and realizing that that's going to be a major factor in how the hell this relationship goes. You know, it's going to be important, for lack of a better word. So she's texting right now, man, so I'll talk to you. This is for the fellas. Fellas, please know your value, kings. I'm getting on this pedestal right now. Know your value, man. Like, there's no man, woman, dinosaur, or anybody out there that is fundamentally worth more than you. You know, like, you're not a piece of crap. Like, I don't care if you've been in like 80 relationships or 0. Like, none of that crap doesn't matter. Like, what matters is where your head's at when you come into the situation with the person that you're with. You know, like the here and now part of it. Just all that crap that happened back then only matters as much as you bring it into the relationship.
And I mean, that could not just go for the guys, but for the girls as
well.
100%.
You too, ladies. I got a daughter. I need the ladies to rise up, and ladies, know your worth. Understand.
And what you bring to the table, like we say that a lot.
Yeah,
like,
I know a lot of good women with bum ass dudes.
I have this one client, and well, I'm not. When I say I have this one client, that could be now. It could be 10 years ago. It could be
right. The like, time frame is
a lot of times. I mix them up too. Like, I bring in different aspects.
A lot of stories. Right.
So I had this client that was always talking about, like, I don't want to get in a relationship, which, cool, like, you shouldn't. But like, the reasoning was the part that had me concerned is, what do I have to bring to the table? You have a lot to bring to the table. Just because you don't make, like, $50,000 a year or whatever doesn't mean you don't bring stuff to the table. Just because you've got a effed up past, you're not... Yeah, your past is a part of you, but you don't have to let it be what you put on top of the table at the time being. And you've worked... These people, in general, if you've worked hard to get past your past, why does that have to be something that you have to feel like you have to bring you down and you have to settle for somebody less than what you deserve?
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart every time I hear somebody talk about that. Like, I feel so bad. Like,
I don't deserve to be happy, right?
And I want to smack them, like, or punch them, I guess. I want to do something to make them see, like, you have so much more worth for you than what you're giving yourself credit for. Just because, I mean, what would your mom tell you your worth is? And some people don't ask your mom because your moms suck, too.
Right. Maybe don't ask mom, depending on your situation.
Like, if I can see your worth, other people should be able to see your worth. And it's not just because you're paying me to see your worth. People really have good qualities. And even if you're the biggest douchebag, you still have something going for you.
Yeah, I don't believe in damaged
Unless you're my
goods.
ex, then you have nothing going for you.
You ain't shit.
You're not dead yet. Like, you didn't die. That would be the most you had going for you.
You said the highest honor I can say. Oh, you guys might think that sounds harsh, but sincerely, this person sucked. Like, big, real bad. Like, big, real bad. We don't say that lightly, but, oh man, what was I gonna say? No, I don't think that people are damaged goods, you know. I don't believe in that, man. Like, everybody's been through some crap, and I really genuinely feel that it's only as relevant as you choose to make it, you know. Like, I get that you've been through some stuff. Like, I get that you might feel like some of these things changed you, and they probably have, but that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of some sort of outcome that you deem appropriate, you know? Like, it's you not deserving of less because you've been in bad relationships or because people have treated you like garbage and all that kind of stuff, man. Like, remember that coming into stuff is that, like, you don't have to settle or be ashamed because of what people have put you through in the past.
And when I say that, yes, you don't need to be in a relationship for these people that I'm talking about, it's not because they don't deserve happiness. It's because they don't feel like they deserve happiness.
They need to heal, right? They need the process.
So
Absolutely.
They're still going for the douchebags. And every time then it's just like, it's like one step forward, two steps back when these relationships happen. And then they never reach that level again of feelings good because that person broke them down a little more, and then the next person a little more, and they never feel like they can get back up to that first level again. And it kills me to see that over and over again. So when I say I don't want them in relationships, it's because I want them to be at their highest level before they even try, so that maybe they go out of their comfort zone and try for somebody better.
Yeah, you take that time for introspection, right? Is the biggest thing. Yeah, it's definitely not a matter of not being deserving. It's right now you may not need to be with somebody else. Maybe right now is the time for you to figure out, like, what's got me walking into these traps, you know? Like, why do these things keep appearing as patterns in my life, you know?
Well, also, a lot of times when people are not doing well mentally, they get into a relationship so that they can focus on somebody else. Like, especially at the beginning of a relationship. At the beginning of a relationship, it should be great.
Yeah.
Like, if you're fighting within the first, first year, really, then it's probably it's probably a red flag.
Because that's some of, like, the most easy and, like, quote-unquote best times, I guess, is because, yeah, there's, like, the newness of it, and just, like, everybody's on their best behavior, and just...
You're trying to impress each other still, like, unless something weird happened, you probably haven't let the other person see you get sick, or, like, really mad, and you're just trying to do what they want, and then slowly, like, those walls start coming away.
Cracks start to show, right.
And so, in the first year, like, happy wife, happy life, happy everybody.
Yeah,
everybody
happy spouse,
should be happy.
happy house.
I was going to say that. Everybody should be happy in the honeymoon period of a relationship. And if at any time the unhappy moments are overriding the not happy, the whatever, if you're more unhappy than happy, you might want to reevaluate. And I'm not talking like if me and him start having a down time, I'm not just going to be like, peace out.
Exactly.
I'm going to say, hey, we need to sit down and we need to talk about this. And I say that and it sounds so cheesy and like we're not going to do it. We are going to do that. We are going to sit down.
I want to do this. And the conversations will be long, hard, and awkward, especially depending on your personalities, but they are absolutely necessary.
And people think that since we're therapists and since you're smart and all that stuff that we've never been through crap.
Never been angry before,
like,
just come in like I really want you.
When we talk about like the crap we've experienced in our lives just since we've been dating, it's been a lot.
It's been so much stuff.
But top of all that, and I can't stress this enough, there's a pandemic going on.
And a panini, guys. We're in the middle of a panoramic.
And it's been going on for a year now. And that's stressful, and we're together a lot more. And people are always like, a lot of people's relationships have gone bad. And when we drove to Florida, people were like, oh, we're going to see how your relationship really does it. Because it's a
car ride, 99-hour car ride.
Drive.
Yep.
And we did fine. Like, we don't tend to get tired of each other. I like to talk. And he pretends to listen.
I'm a fantastic listener. I get paid to listen. I'm such a good listener.
So, just in general, like, there's been stress, and we have had to come together and talk about it. And,
figure it out.
And we take, I can't think of the word I want to use. We take stock of the things, and we talk about it. Even just now, like, we'll talk about something that happened 3 years ago, and be like, do you remember this, and how fucked up that was? And it's just like, that sucked. Let's never do that again. And it's just, we're not trying to run from the bad stuff.
Or throw it in each other's faces.
Yeah.
You know? That's not,
I mean, except for that girl. No, I'm just joking. No, I do throw it in his face, though. Before he was dating me, he was texting my batshit crazy cousin.
Oh, my God.
And she is like...
Guys, before I even let her finish this, I need you all to understand. On if you've ever done online dating, you do not know who that other person is.
He was doing plenty of fish.
Exactly. That's all that needed to be said. Right.
So
there.
in my cousin's head, they would have been married, and I'm only with him because
settled.
He settled for me.
Settled, came in.
She doesn't do anything.
Maybe in another life, huh? God, that would have been, you guys, if you ever play visual novels or like RPGs, that's the bad ending. I'm glad very much I avoided the bad ending. Very much, man. No, I don't, you just
I do throw that in his face. I'm not gonna lie, because that's hilarious.
It's super deserved, but it's just...
He always talks like, if there was one thing in this world that I wish I could take back.
Right? Like, if you could do, like, rewind one thing, you're like, Jesus, man. That would have to be.
And I want to clarify, I knew him for a couple of years before he messaged her. And he didn't know she was my cousin. It wasn't until I took him to meet my grandma that I found out she was hiding upstairs because she was concerned that this black man was going to hurt her because he was obsessed with her.
The black man. We're going to come with their mouth full. Where a white woman at?
I don't know where he was going to motorboat anything.
That's supposed to be like the Richard Nixon. Whatever, like Tasmanian tiger, foam bubbles falling out, like spinning in a circle.
He's all
like,
out of his game now.
So we're the white girls. Oh, God, man. Well, you just completely threw me for a loop there, guys. I appreciate my wife throwing me under the bus for the past 5 minutes.
Every time.
She's right, though. All in all, I think that it's healthy to have these awkward conversations with your partner, even though, honestly, they become a lot less awkward the more you talk, man. When you're used to having a whopper.
My water. You can be my water.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it does become a lot. I mean, it might sound like we've been together for a long time, or like that we're in the honeymoon period. We're definitely not.
No, man, we're not some like beginning couple who just like, oh, every time I look in your eyes, I just... we got past all that, man. We've had definitely have some difficult crap happen. Been through a lot of stuff, man. It's been an action-packed number of years. But that being said, I think that there's a reason that we can still talk to each other like this. Mm-hmm. And that is because I'm great.
Yeah, alright.
I'm the best. Oh, man, in all seriousness, the communication aspect of it, I think that there's a mutual respect that we both have for each other. I think that we both understand that nobody's forced to be in this relationship.
I see him as at my level.
He's at my he's at my level. There you go.
Because we talk about, like, if I was with somebody that isn't at my level, then, like, my ex always tried to make me feel stupid because he felt like you were
trying to hold your intelligence over him. Like, you try to use these big words. Like, dude, I just said panda. Like, it had nothing to do. Like, I didn't throw some 8-syllable. Absolutely. Well, insecurity, man. Like,
because I can do that. I can talk over some people. That's not my goal. I don't do that. I'm not trying to, I'm not big... I don't know.
Dude,
I was going to say I'm not big pimping.
Smartness level too big. I outsmart most people.
I'm not Trump either. I'm not talking about my intelligence.
You're not helping your case out all here.
I was watching the green bar on the computer.
You're not looking too big brain right now.
But like, for real, I'm not one of those people who throw around my intelligence unless I feel like I have to. Like,
you're gonna make me flex it.
I've waitressed while being a therapist, so and then I have people who actually talk down to me about how stupid I have to be a waitress and this and that, and I'm like, dude, during the day,
like, I'm Batman, like, you know what I do?
I oversee a whole counseling facility. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're not going to talk down to me like that. I did not get good tips.
And
but
that's the thing though, man, about like why you don't look down on people in the first place. Like, you don't know who the hell that person is that you're talking to. Like, for you to come at somebody and automatically assume that just because in this moment you're seeing them in a certain place or with something happening that like, oh, I'm better than that guy. I know. You don't know crap about that person. For all you know, man, this guy could be a freaking neuroscientist out here doing like some sort of a social experiment, or just like, you don't know who the hell this person is, man. Like,
my mom always told us, you treat the janitor just as good as you treat the owner of anything. And I feel like that has been helpful. At my last job, the janitor, I guess, I don't think they don't call him that anymore, but he would go out of his way to do things for me. And I would always, hey, do you need something? Or just saying hi. But I never once, and that's just me, I'm not one to make you feel like I think I'm better than you just because my job's at a higher pay grade than you. That's not me. I don't believe in that.
Well, we know some very well-educated people that we would not consider of the highest quality, oh my god, highest quality intelligence at all, man. Like, I don't care like what sort of doctorate degrees or just lack of doctorate degrees or how much formal schooling that you have. Like, I see it both directions, man. Like, I've met people with very little to no formal schooling that I would consider much wiser and more enjoyable people to be around than some very quote-unquote well-educated individuals.
And I admit that all the time. I say I'm book smart. I have no natural intelligence. Like, Kelvin is dumb as hell when it comes to common sense. Like, he might say he's not, but
I got more than you. Like, just sitting in the apartment, like, hey, you want to take a look around and just see this apartment really quick? What is wrong with you? You are literally the type of person to see a complete stranger. I'm like, oh, here's my passwords into my IRS account.
All right, so when he moved out of his apartment and moved into our house,
nuts.
I was pregnant, and I was waiting on the movers to come get our furniture out of his apartment and move it to the house. So, I mean, it was like there was no heat. It was 30 degrees. I went outside to do something, and I saw this. I saw this student, and I was like, I just started talking to him, and he said that he was supposed to meet the landlord of this apartment, and that the landlord didn't show up. So I said, hey, you want me to give you a tour of the apartment?
Complete weirdos.
The guy was super uncomfortable. He was foreign. He didn't speak good English. And I could tell how uncomfortable he was. I can take care of myself pretty good. I feel like unless he has some chloroform or something, but people generally don't carry that around. And he couldn't get out of that apartment fast enough, but he was so mad at me.
Because can you guys imagine that? Like, just being on the sidewalk and just seeing a complete stranger and like, hey, you want to look in my boyfriend's house? Like some complete maniac.
I don't even remember how the conversation happened.
You are a complete maniac. I will readily admit there's a lot of crap out there I don't know and have done dumb, but I think that
when we were in this apartment, I kept seeing little spots on the floor, and I was like, what? Finally, I asked, like, why are there spots on the floor all the time? He was washing the floor with bleach.
It's a great cleaning solution.
Dyeing the floor.
I still swear by bleach. All right, you're getting us off on a tangent for 45 minutes. We're going to let these people go. Moral of the story, don't let strangers into your house. What else, man? What are the other morals? Happy wife, happy life, blah, blah, all
balls.
That. Yeah, it's balls, dude. It's all balls. Like, everybody in the situation matters. Like, both man, woman, whoever you're with, man.
Not child. Like, don't
not child.
Like, if
can't be child, not child. Don't be in relationships with children. I do not advocate that at all. I want this on tape. I in no way, shape, or form advocate that. But yes, whoever your partner is, man, don't go into it with this weird sort of hierarchy thing set into place with like them being better than you being better than them. Like, that's if you enter into it with that, either way you look at it, you're going to screw over the relationship. So be proud of yourself. Mm-hmm. Be appreciative of the person that you're with. Just see where things go. Like don't put too much pressure on it, man. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a good thing. You're together for a reason. So that was a gunshot. I apologize, guys. I should have known better.
Somebody smashing something.
Oh, yeah, somebody smashing something. Alright, we'll let the people go. So, on that note, thank you guys for listening. Talk to you guys in the next video.